I'll do you one better. But you're right here. Live mealworms are 20% protein. Dried mealworms are 50% protein. Just because they take the water out, they're not adding protein. But what's really interesting about this is not only do the mealworms have a high amount of protein, but so does their frass. This is the analysis of the mealworm frass from my farm. It's going to vary by farm. Right? Based on what your inputs are, that's going to dictate what your outputs are. So this is all data around the mealworm frass, which is their manure, not the actual mealworm itself. Okay. And what's really interesting is if you look right around in here, protein. Let me zoom in on that for you. Protein. 18%. The frass. So again, the mealworm eats whatever it's going to eat. In this case, it's eating wheat bran and water gel crystals from my farm. The output, their poop, their manure, is this. That's what was analyzed here. And the protein amount in the frass is 18.8%. So what I'm really curious about and what needs to be studied more is, can the mealworm frass, which is this, right? Mealworm frass, it's a sandy-like substance. Can this be integrated into chicken feed, for example? Not all of it, right? And I mean, chickens shouldn't just eat frass, but as people are mixing chicken feed together, should a portion of that, or could a portion of that be frass to get that boost of protein? So in that scenario, and that needs to be studied, right? Like that's not, I don't think it's legal right now to do that. It needs to be researched, needs to be studied. So if anybody's wanting to do that, message me. I'll set you up with some free frass. We'll talk about it, whatever. But not only is the mealworm going to be high in protein, the frass, its only output, is going to be high in protein as well. And so you can take unusable materials, unusable from a human perspective, right? Unusable materials that just we aren't going to do well with, and feed it to the mealworms and get not only protein from the mealworm, but protein from their frass as well.